What's up, boys and girls? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog, on my way to Dallas, Texas, baby, for speech and other opportunities that present themselves. Now listen, you've been seeing the articles acting like subprime mortgage is back. Let's be really honest. Subprime mortgages never left. They never left. There's several companies, BVA of Compass, there's several different companies, NACA, USDA loans, all kinds of people been given these subprime mortgages all the past 10 years, right? So everybody's acting like, oh my God, subprime mortgages are back. Oh my God, the horror. And if you actually pull apart the article, what you will do if you Google, and this is why I made a comment earlier today on Instagram that Google is y'all friend, you will see that subprime mortgages never went anywhere. The same companies that were offering subprime mortgages are offering subprime mortgages now. And everybody, can you hear me well? Put a 1 in the comments. If not, I need to take this headset out. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me well. If not, I need to take out this headset because I think it's doing well, but may not. Anyway, so the key here is to know from the real from the fake. To review the is this true or not? Now, people have been getting subprime car loans forever ever. And what is forever ever? Forever ever is 18%, 17%, 20%. I'm seeing people like, I got 20% on a car. What should I do? I'm like, pay it off in a year. That's probably the only way to save yourself. And a lot of people get mad. Nah, I don't want to pay my car off in a year. Then why'd you sign a note? If you keep paying long term. I had somebody call me and they had 17% interest on their car. And it was a $10,000 car, but if you did 17% interest, and the end, I think you end up paying like $17,000 for, kind of car payments in the end when you calculated it all up. So the problem here, this is not a right-hand driving car. It's just something about when the camera flips, it looks like I'm right-hand driving, but this is the left-hand mirror. So I don't know, the internet and the recording FaceTime. So long story short, people are wigging out saying, oh no, we're about to go in a recession because subprime mortgages are back. And the funny part is they never left. Tell me some of the cities and states you guys are in, because I can tell you right now if your city or state suffered a recession last time. Some of you in Nevada, some of you, again, Sacramento, California, some of you in Tampa, Florida, some of you in Tampa, Florida, some of you in, what city was that? Was it Maryland? I thought Maryland didn't get hit that bad, or a part of Maryland did get hit bad. Let me know if your area got hit bad with foreclosures, because Countrywide wore out Charlotte, North Carolina. Countrywide took down a bunch of people in certain parts of Georgia. Countrywide was a beast. There you go, exactly. 420 credit scores and USDA loans. Listen, I keep telling y'all, a lot of times I'm on here talking about, African-American people, black people, white people, whoever. A lot of times I see white people will move to USDA loan areas, no money down, no money at closing, stay there a year or two, and move right on back into city. Now they've got a rental and they got a new property. This is a game people have been playing for a long time, but if you're going to try to say, well, Erica, I really want this $400,000 house and I'll wait to get my dream house, you're an idiot. Because that's the reason they call them starter homes. Okay, yeah, Countrywide took out California, Nevada, and Florida. Thank you for that, D. Ramsey. That's right. So we got some Ohio in here, some Pennsylvania. We got some Maryland. Did any of y'all experience like major foreclosures in your cities? MG, you're in Las Vegas. I know y'all experienced some. Oh, yeah, Kalamazoo, Michigan. I don't really think y'all experienced some. I may be wrong. Atlanta, Georgia had some. I told you guys about Paula Plant. She, the other day, I said she bought a house for $20K. The house was worth, the people who had the mortgage before her was paying $70K on the mortgage. But because of the recession, the house was worth $20. Now, same thing happened in Charlotte, where the house was worth $25,000, when really it was just $75,000 a couple months ago. And that's the trickery I felt was going on out there. You know, it was like, what could they get for it? So you had some people in Charlotte buying their brand new houses back with a credit card, credit card advance. Miami, okay. That's right. Subprime been here, y'all. Thank you, Cam. I appreciate it. Florida did. Yep. Donnie Breeze. A lot of South Carolina eligible for USDA loans. Exactly. You guys right now can go on the USDA website and look up USDA website and look up the map. Go on there and look up the map. Type in the street or the area you want to live in, and you can find out if you qualify for USDA loans. It's perfect. And the reason I want you guys to do that is so you can be better familiar with where, if you see a lot of people all of a sudden moving to this one corner of town, why are they moving there? There's a reason they're moving there. Hey, you guys, make sure you hit the like button. It's like 80 of y'all in here. Let's make sure we hit the like button, keep the likes up. We want to make sure we have no problems with Skynet. Oh, Timothy Hall, he done a mortgage in 2008 without proof of income. Listen, right now, Bank of England and a few other banks, you know, if you've been in business 5 years, the 5th year of you being a business owner and the tax receipts from that, like all your, now some of them go off your deposits and they'll make you, because a lot of times they know business owners will write off every single thing they can if given an opportunity, right? So I meet people all the time say, oh, my business made $250,000, but then on paperwork, they're only paying $30,000 in taxes. So basically your business made $250,000, but you wrote it all the way off to $30,000. You're not getting homes like that. You can't play the game and win at the same time. So you got to pick a year that you actually take a hit. So on documentation purposes, it shows you made all that money. Now, lucky for them, Bank of England, actually your deposits, they're going off the numbers, they're going off the receipts. So Fidman 100 said he's starting to see foreclosures in his area. What's your area? Yo, when you drive to the D, old lady's gonna have to go. So yeah, we'll be in Detroit next weekend, the 25th through the 28th. I have my film kid running around with me. My little black D-Rock version. He'll be out there. So, and what I tell people is the reason wholesaling became so popular is people would abandon homes. They would abandon homes. Like they had the threat of foreclosure. They didn't want to get put out, so they would abandon. Oh, Donnie Breeze, I got to consult with you today. You better make sure I got to check my calendar. Let me know the time, Donnie Breeze. Do I got to consult with you today? Let me go check my emails. I'm driving to Dallas right now. Banks are now offering no PMI or down payment. Timothy Hall. Yeah, Timothy Hall, but a lot of banks have been doing it for like 10 years, the past 10 years. They've just been real quiet. What time, Donnie Breeze? I got my Google map and my assistant should have updated my Google calendar. So always let me know. So anyway, that's part of what we're seeing. So now what's the problem? Many people say, oh, it's coming back. Is a recession coming back? If you talk to people, like last night I did a show on Information Man's channel, and he said he short sold his house. And I said, well, that didn't make sense. Now, here's why I always say these house sales people don't make no sense. I go, how much is it now? How much is your house worth now that you short sold? How much is it now? And of course, in California, it's through the roof. He literally joked and said he would cry if could tell me how much it was. And the thing of it is, most of these people are not holding out for the long term. Now, same thing with the subprime car. The only way to get out of that subprime mortgage car early is sometimes to pay them off early and don't go get another car. What ends up happening is people keep re-rolling these cars over. So they got a $20,000 car, they pay all the interest up front, then they go re-roll into another car and they start all over again. Or they try to refinance the car. Why would you refinance a car that you already paid all the interest on up front the first year and a half? That's dumb. And when I tell them it's dumb, they get mad at me. And that's okay. I'm okay with them getting mad at me because they know what I'm saying is truth. They paid all the interest up front and now they're paying interest again. Because some bank, I get offers all the time. When I paid off my little car rent now, I get offers all the time. Hey, did you want to refinance your car? Why would I want to refinance it? It's already paid off. Would you want to refinance it? You want to cash out refinance? People are so hungry for money, per se. That's what's going on. That's what's really happening. Okay, Donnie Breeze, let me make sure. Let me check my schedule because I am going to the premiere of Race War movie in Dallas today. So I want to make sure I got you in the schedule there. Hopefully she put you in there right. But essentially the movie, talk about that a little bit later. Have you covered what makes loans subprime? So there's a couple. Okay, so let's define a few things, okay? Because someone said, LJ said he bought a short sale, automatic equity. Yeah, my mom bought a foreclosure home that was worth $300,000. She got it for $150,000. Best decision ever. Okay, equity. It's on a lake, 2-car garage, all kind of stuff. So, what makes loans subprime? Now, let's be careful. I don't want to just say bad credit, because it's not always just bad credit. It can be lack of credit. It can be several things that make people's scores stay under 650. Now, 650, 680 can get you some credit cards, can get you some business credit cards, but not a ton. Not a ton, and not with great interest. When you're talking about 620, you're talking about 580. Now, 580 can get you an FHA loan, but the interest rate on that loan, whoo, I wouldn't want it. So a lot of times when I'm doing credit repair people, I always try to work with people who are trying to get a home or trying to make a major purchase, like something towards their business, because they have more incentive to keep their credit cleaned up. Somebody who's just trying to clean their credit so they can go get another car, that don't even make no damn sense, right? Like, but they do it all the time. It's really crazy. The key here about subprime is, let's say the national rate of mortgages right now, the national interest rate is like 2%, 4%. I think we're at 4%. Somebody Google for me. Right now, around 4%. Well, if you're subprime, or let's say you're 620, let's say you're 610, you're barely in the 600s, you're probably going to start seeing offers for 7% rate on your mortgage. You're going to see like 8%, 9%. If somebody offers you 10%, take that piece of paper and roll it up and then just smack them across their face multiple times. Now, back in the 1980s, you saw 20% mortgages. Now, many of us will go, that's crazy. These baby boomers were paying 20% on a mortgage. Yes, the interest rates rose up to save the economy in the 80s, but you also got 20% on your... Oh no, everybody, Skynet. Skynet got us. Skynet doesn't want people talking about subprime loans. Everybody, I'm back. Everybody put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me and see me clearly. Put a 1 in the comments so I know if I'm officially back or I'm talking to myself again, because it literally was just circling and circling and circling. Put a 1 in the comments if I'm officially back. If you can hear me and I'm officially back, put a 1 in the comments. Let me see if it's popping back up. I don't know if y'all can hear me. I'm gonna just go with it. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me and see me. If not, then I guess I'll be talking to myself for another 2 minutes again. Cam put, Puerto Rico has single family housing guaranteed loan programs with USDA. Facts. And Puerto Rico right now has so much money set aside to kind of bring back the economy. So trust me. What's up, Mentor Shelley? Stream is down. I'm so sorry, y'all. Didn't high interest rates get Carter booted from the White House? Property Solutions, a combination of things got Carter booted. Carter, I don't think he was an absolute horrible president, but he made that whole Democrats are soft like cake image bigger. So yeah, I mean, it's technically, but again, you know, gas shortages, all that stuff, you know, the new energy they brought up with Ronald Reagan kind of thing. So I know, Herbert Scott, I shouldn't have brought up that movie I'm going to go see. That's when Skynet decided to take me out. They didn't want the info getting out. Listen, you guys, listen. I'll put it to you like this. I have people to this day buying homes way out in the middle of boonies, and they just doing a countdown to 12 months and then move further back in. I'm telling you, people use this as a technique to get rich. Not necessarily rich, but long-term play, wealthy. I know a military guy, he had a house in Killeen, get out of the military, moved into Round Rock, kept that house, kept the Round Rock house, moved into Austin. Now he's sitting there in his house he wants to be in, house hacking with guys, and renting the other 2 houses out. So, got to keep these gems on the hush. I mean, that's why, hey, listen, I hope y'all can hear me. Put a 1 in the comments. I hope y'all are hearing me. I hope I'm not reading old comments, but maybe I am. So, interesting timing, 6 days. It really was. Yeah, Bloomsburg, PA in the house. Okay, well, welcome to the stream. We need to add more words to Skynet's trigger. I mean, clearly we do. Okay, you guys are hearing me. Good, 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 good. I'm telling you, I'm going to put a shirt that says, I survived the fallout of Skynet. That's what I'm going to put on a shirt, y'all. For real, though. There's minivans, and I feel like men in minivans are like thinking they're in a Tahoe and refuse to get over in the slow lane. They just refuse. Erica fought the termination back. I'll be back. I'll be back. Help. Smash the like button. Skynet wants suckers to take out loans with 75% interest rates. Roscoe, when I see these people out here taking out these, what do you call them, payday loans with 100% interest, 200% interest, I'm like, ugh, what happened? What had happened? Okay, it says in the Oval Office that he did talk about, told Americans the truth about themselves. Very unpopular. Well, D, you know what the funny thing about Donald Trump is, the reason Donald Trump got in is because he was saying unemployment's at 20%. You know, Obama's a bad president. He didn't do nothing for black people. What he do for y'all? Right? Like, he was saying things that people were like, see, yeah, I'm going to vote for him. I'm going to be the best jobs president ever. So all of a sudden they're telling you there's all these jobs around. But again, what have I been telling y'all on this channel? It's not that they're not jobs. People don't know people. They're not on the right platforms, such as LinkedIn. And also they don't have the certifications. I'm sitting here talking about Salesforce, and my friend was like, oh, and he's an engineer making $56 an hour. And he's like, oh, Salesforce? Yeah, that's a good way to get in the marketplace. But it's still not enough money to live on. He's making 120, 130 a year, and he's like 50K, 60K. That's not enough money to live on. And of course, it's because we live in Austin. But for some of y'all, 60, 70K, hey, you a single person, that's enough. 60, 70K, and you married, and you and your spouse both make 60, 70K, you living a whole new life. You dig? And new doors are going to open because you're in the company now, and they can, hey, we're looking for this, or that is getting ready to be hired a bunch. You got more opportunity. What's up, Yolanda? What's up? Thank y'all for putting the ones in there so I can see we're all in here. We made it back. We made it back, everybody. Can I use a VA loan for a multifamily? James Joseph, you always have to talk to your VA loan provider, because what happens is if you're in Maryland or some of those areas, the amount of the VA loan is different. I think the number is a little bit higher, but somebody can double check me on the VA loan. I'm not a mortgage broker. I'm just telling you from my level of experience via real estate investing and being a former real estate agent. Like this weekend, I'm going to go meet up, and I'll see if I can get him to come on a little bit. I'll have Tim Jackson, Scotty Smith. Scotty Smith is investing in South Dallas, buying $1,000 acre lots, turning around and putting houses on them. No money out of pocket. No money out of pocket. So my thing I would tell somebody if they're using their VA loan is to use their VA loan wisely, and then save up money and invest in a rental property after that. Because everybody wants to get in something no money down. There's tons of programs out there, but there's also programs with 1% down, you know, just smaller percents downs. Erica Condor, what's that mean? Hey. America has not had a good president in a long while. You know, here's my thing. I used to think it was just black Americans that always were looking for like a black leader, but it's also white people. It is like when Kanye West is up there with that hat on talking about, I feel like a superhero. Did anybody hear the Kanye West full speech? It's 19 minutes. Put a 2 in the comments if you heard Kanye West. So I'm not just telling y'all actually watched it. If you actually watch Kanye West talk, put a 2 in the comments, because I think y'all can clarify. If I say something wrong, the people who put a 2 in the comments can clear me up, because people said I was bashing Kanye and I wasn't clarifying his conversation. So if you saw it, put a 2 in the comments so we know that I'm not making it up. But when Kanye West was up there, he's like, when I put this hat on, I feel like a superhero with a cape. You know, I'm in a house with multiple women. Something about like the family he married into, you know, doesn't have a lot of male energy. You know, I think we need to work on You know, my Adidas company makes like $1 billion, like his sector. And out of his sector, he wanted to bring a factory to Chicago and give jobs to ex-felons. And I was cool. That made sense. He was rambling. I could tell he's probably been on some medication. But when he said that makes him feel like a superhero. And when he started it out in the multi-universe, that prisoner guy he's trying to free, you know, I am him and he is me. I was like, what is happening here? What is happening? The hat, the super cape, all this stuff. So what it told me is a lot of white Americans also are looking for leadership. They're also looking for somebody saying it's going to be okay. People like following people. They do. People like coach. Like when this one guy said he didn't understand why people are so enthralled with football games. Because I was talking to a kid, he used to play for Tulsa. And he was like, I used to play on the field. This is a white guy. And he's like, I don't even care. Now when a game's on TV, I'm not in it, so why should I care? And that's how most people should be, but most people want to be attached to something. So that's why you're seeing so many people like, oh, football, man, football. And they're just going crazy because that's what's up. Now, something I also noticed too is a ton. Driving through Waco, and Waco is building four little plaza commercial spots like its hair is on fire. And that's also a sign of a pending recession. Now, what happens is the prices you can negotiate and get into the plazas for cheaper. But essentially, what I've learned is people want someone to tell them it's going to be okay. And yes, it's going to be okay if you have assets. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm not going to come on here and lie to y'all for sales. Every day I get a sale for the tax lien course. The techniques work. They work for 20 plus states. There's 2 people in our private Facebook group. I want to interview them on the record about them buying tax liens in, oh my God, the river's high. And sorry, I was like, the river as I go across the bridge is so high, it's abnormal. About buying tax lien certificates in Alabama, because those actually come with the property. If it's vacant, again, there's rules to this. There's rules to this. Salesforce pays up to $330,000 a year. Thank you, Cam. What's up, Brandon Jones? But Cam just corrected. Salesforce related jobs, $30,000 a year. Cloud job. Okay, thank you, Emmanuel Burrs. Cloud jobs pay up to $120,000. Can train 6 figures, 3 to 4 months. You can make 6 figures. Exactly. Now, so when people say, "Oh, jobs are slavery, jobs are just over broke," that person does not have a career. They have a $10 an hour job, a $12 an hour job, a $15 an hour job. You need to show them these numbers. They start coming to you with that mess, start coming to them with like, oh, I make $120 a year. Because if you make $120 a year 3 years in a row, you got a whole different life than most people you know. If most people are making $30K a year, it'll take them 10 years to make what you're going to make in 3 years. Now, do you pay a lot of taxes? For sure. But you can minimize those taxes by doing what? Owning assets, owning things you can write off and that depreciate. You dig? Brittany, Udemy, all these places are offering all kind of certification training. Okay, so a lot of you saw the speech, Kanye West's speech. Did you hear the part where he said the red hat made him feel like Superman? I'm not making that up. I'm really not making that up. Anybody who saw this full speech, what was the best part of Kanye's speech? Please tell me, because people act like this was a speech that will unite nations. And I was like, he looked so unstable. I could not follow. He started talking to the cameras more and turning his body. I was like, yo, chill. Sit still and chill. So tell me, for all the people I see who are putting 2 in the comments and you actually saw the video, tell me what was the best part about it, because clearly I'm missing something and I'm being bashed in my emails and on Instagram for being a hater, for disregarding black men feelings. I mean, y'all, I'm serious. If I can do screenshots and cover their names, which I might do this week, show y'all how much hate mail I'm getting for not listening to Kanye West's feelings. Y'all can even go back to the video I did a couple days ago about it. Look under the comment section. There's at least 12 guys in there like, you don't care about black men's problems. I'm like, black men's problems are mostly economic. What I'm saying. Let me see what we got here. Roscoe, I can't say that. Two, my head hurts. Was it that bad? I mean, was the speech that bad? Salesforce is the latter jobs. Okay. It only costs like $50 a month and it's worth it. Cool. He was making good points, but not completing his train of thought. Okay, CJ, thank you. I can take that. That is a good statement. That makes sense. We can assess that. His publicist really should have checked if he was mentally prepared for that meeting with Trump. Now, here's the thing. Somebody was saying, my favorite lady, the Black Mother of Hollywood, she was saying that he is manic depressed. Now, he already said that he's bipolar and he's taking some medication. And Snoop Dogg was making fun of him, saying they need to put him on some better medication than that wacky stuff they have him on. Now, look, his mama probably knew back then something was up with him. Lots of people probably knew something was up with him. But make sure the man is not out there looking unstable. Nivea, I think Nivea has, I don't think she has a drug problem. I think she has a bipolar problem where she's like about to break down in interviews talking about her kids and talking about her career. And I'm like, this is a woman on the brink of having a nervous breakdown. So mental health issues are real. Counselors make a difference. I think a lot of people think I'm over here patting up counselors, but you need counselors. Sometimes when I'm on the phone with people, I feel like I'm doing a counseling session. I'm like, bro, I'm not your counselor. I'm just here to talk with you. Like, you need to get a counselor. Herb Scott said, Kanye wants to make a fully functional infinity gauntlet to control the multiverse. Bro, when he started talking about the multiverse, I was like, even if I believe in it, I need you to not talk about it right now. I thought he was off his meds. Well, I thought he was on them. That's what they were saying. He's taking them. Most people have dead-end jobs because they have horrible personalities. They don't have the talent for someone to overlook the bad personality. Boom, Roscoe. There you go. There are several young ladies I know who are getting fired from jobs. And I go, well, what's going on? Because sometimes it's the company. Let's be honest. Sometimes you work in a racist office. Sometimes that happens. Or you don't fit with the staff. But then sometimes it's you. Because I've seen doctors and nurses have bad attitudes. But guess what? They're a doctor or a nurse. And when you have a skill that is so vitally needed, they'll overlook some of that bad mouth. You dig? And that persona. Because I've seen people walk in a room with an attitude and you're like, miss me with that. ASAP. He makes great points about the welfare state. Charles Ogilvie, what was his points on the welfare state? I don't want to misrepresent him, and I feel like I'm getting so many emails. I know right now, off the top of my head, I got 27 emails where they're like paragraphs about how I bash Kanye. And I just want to clarify, I just felt like the fatherlessness part was not necessary when you want to talk about jobs reform, prison reform, getting jobs into Chicago, and reparations. Now, I just felt like it didn't all play well together and again, this is a 19-minute, 33-second segment, right? I watched the whole thing through and like, maybe I'm missing something and maybe y'all can clarify. I'm not always right. Erica is the first one to apologize. I like apologizing because, hey, it lets the burden off my back. If I was wrong, please let me know. About how welfare split up the family. Okay, Charles Ogilvie. Well, cosmic wisdom, that's hard to say that we won't listen to somebody with mental health problems, because there's a lot of people who are suffering from depression and anxiety, and they have high level jobs. So we can't say we're not going to listen to them, but I just want to make sure I wasn't missing it and people felt like I was bashing. Now, I was going to do a second part 2 video about the points he made and what I think can be done. Like, do I think we're owed reparations? Sure. But I don't think we're ever going to get them. And I don't think there's a number you can put on your family's lineage or life. And there are people who are in California who are doing DNA tests and showing up Chinese. So that meant some of those Chinese workers that were in America that we were pushing out after the Exclusion Act was that person's great person. So is that person still entitled to reparations when they realize that they're got Chinese in their blood now from that California area? You see what I'm saying? Like, I just think if we weren't going to get them in the 1950s in the country, and then Hispanics were coming in the country in the 1950s, we ain't gonna get it now. And we ain't gonna get it 100 years from now. Now, what can you do in the meantime? Can you get some Salesforce certification? Can you get some training? Can you make more money? Can you buy assets? Because to me, the whole Asian supremacy thing, really, the best thing that kid ever said to me was resource supremacy. That's key. People who are buying things are going to be living just fine. People who own properties and real estate and land lots, they got something to sell and a buffer to protect themselves. People seem to run away from jobs that require them to use their brain. Wow, Donnie Breeze. Wow. And here's the thing. I'm looking at it from a perspective of long-term women are in poverty at bigger numbers. But the younger generation of women are doing a lot of investing. And I think it's because they see that elderly black woman or elderly white woman in poverty don't want to be there. So what is that going to mean? Now, whether you go have your kids and wait till you're 40 and they start to go to college and you go get Salesforce training and you start going back in the workforce in a higher level, cool. I'm okay with that. But a lot of women around 30 are either burnt out, and I think that's because they're at jobs that don't pay enough, and two, the biological clock's like, yo, I'm 30, I want to have these babies. I think that's happening to a lot of them. So Emmanuel Brez, he had a little bit of truth, but he was mentally unstable. Darren Ramsey, I don't like the word sellouts. I just don't think it is a good word. Charles Ogilvie, he talks about the ignorance of sending jobs over to China and other countries. Low-wage jobs that actually work in low-cost areas like the Midwest and the South. Okay, that's true. When he talked about Adidas, and he was saying he wanted to bring the factory there, and he was talking about how many billions of dollars that company is worth, I feel like that company could run a factory for very cheaply in Southside Chicago. Probably, sure. Yeah. But my only problem is now you're asking Adidas to go into some of those buildings that are shells of what they used to be and get them up to the 21st century. Now, what incentives and programs are Chicago going to offer those companies to do that? Does everybody know what I'm talking about? When you have cities that want jobs or companies to come in, they usually give them incentives or tax credits to fix up old buildings, old factories. So my thing is, that part I can agree with. And what incentives is Adidas going to get from Chicago or the neighboring suburb town to fix up one of those old buildings? Because I've seen a lot of old yarn factories and clothing factories, even where I'm from in North Carolina, and the building's still intact, but of all the government regulation, you're going to have to bring that building up to certain code levels. Okay, Property Solutions ATL. The best was he advocated for no stop and frisk. Okay, I can agree on that point. Some reform. Okay, and a few other common sense changes. Okay, so I don't believe in stop and frisk any day of the week. New York tried to say they were all about it, but if you really are honest, they weren't in Irish communities where knife fights are huge, stopping and frisking. I think stop and frisk is against your constitutional rights. They do not have rights to search and seizure your person or your property without warrant. So I am very much against stop and frisk. I don't even understand why black people live in New York. I don't understand why y'all vote the way y'all do up there, because it's crazy. It's a madhouse. And you ain't stopping and frisking people in Texas. You're just not going to do it. You're not going to do it. Thank you, Eden. Thank you. La Femme LeDuc's probably true. I mean, it's hard when people start becoming a celebrity for them to listen to people to tell them to not do something. Even Kanye has mentioned his wife thought about leaving him, but I was like, your wife isn't thinking about leaving you unless there's you're just not listening, and you might be a danger to yourself. Again, there's 130 of y'all in here. Let's hit the like button so we can appease Skynet. True, Emmanuel Barris, I do think in the African American community there is a problem with mental health conversations. Okay, he said the best part of his speech was the comment, although unfinished, let's make sure we clarify that because it was, about slavery continue with the prison industrial complex. I'm a therapist, honestly, and he has not been given poor advice. He has been given poor advice, or he has not been given poor advice. So the thing about Kanye, when he talked about the 13th Amendment, people kind of blew it off as crazy. But again, if you want to go watch a documentary on Netflix called The 13th Amendment, or it says The 13th, clarify me, anybody seen that documentary on Netflix that says The 13th? It's like a silhouette of a man walking with the prison colors on. It was real popular last night. It went viral or whatever. that essentially you're an American citizen with all your given rights, unless, according to the 13th Amendment, you become a prisoner. Now, hence, I'm not gonna go too deep into the 13th Amendment on here on this video, but I will say, if you look at, I know a man who now is out of prison. He has a company, a thriving business, and he wanted to travel with his wife. He was not allowed to have a passport. Also, when you look at the way the prison lets you out, they basically put you on probation back in the same neighborhoods and communities where you were before. They don't really let you move to all new city, all new state unless you do all this paperwork. I've even seen guys who got brand new jobs and the job required them to drive 2 hours away, and the government was like, no, you can't do it. You got to find a local job, which is stupid. It's basically advocating for that person to recycle back in the prison system. Now, with that being said, this business owner that makes $2 million a year, and he's a white guy with a black wife and 5 kids, he's making millions of dollars. He literally, I'm not gonna, you know, Skynet ain't gonna be able to tell the government, but literally this guy goes through Mexico and then goes wherever the hell he wants. I mean, I'm just saying, for the record, like, I think now he's in a position where he can get something changed, where he can get a passport. But at the end of the day, people will find a way around something if they need to. They don't have to put up with it if they don't want to. But that, to me, is, your government shouldn't be trying to keep you trapped here. Now, we shouldn't be letting our criminals go everywhere in the world. I mean, if somebody's a criminal, we don't want them going, and America now has to go rescue them from Turkey because they're out there stealing in Turkey and they're going to cut their hand off. But I think that is a form of, that's very dangerous, slippery slope. Charles, you know, the whole fatherlessness community, right now you have 36% of black women that are married. That's a little bit higher for black men. You have about 5 million black women and 5 million black men currently in marriages in the black community. If you guys will go on blackdemographics.com, you can check these facts out, CDC numbers. The problem with that argument is, a lot of studies have shown, and I'm going to say this, because of the income levels, black fathers, if they live close, still have a lot of interaction with their kids. Now, why is that? Because mom's got to work and grandma's helping, and then this grandma's helping, and then, you know what I mean? There's still some kind of back and forth between the communities. Everybody who knows my parents got divorced right when I was in middle school, and then my mom got remarried to my stepdad. So I really didn't have a gap of fatherlessness. Essentially, my dad called every day when we got off the school bus, and we spent summers in Alaska. I think having a male parent is vital. I will agree. I think economically, the fact that we're poor and fatherlessness is the kicker, right? Because I'm seeing women who are nurses whose sons turned out all right. I'm seeing women who are higher income paid military folks, children turning out all right. I think it is the combination of, if your mom has no skill or low skill, she's being paid low, and your dad's absent from the picture, that is a killer. That's a 2-leg hit. So in my mind, my thing is advocate for people to do what? Get high income jobs if they're going to do jobs, or get assets, right? Because I feel like we're still back to the same problem, right? There's 25 million white American women out here who have children out of wedlock. But if Sally's got I can tell you right now, my church, there's a woman who's an engineer making $130 a year, and she had a kid out of wedlock. People were like, oh my God. But at the end of the day, she makes $130 a year. She's not going in the poorhouse. She's not going to lose her apartment. She's not going to lose her car. Someone who's making $30K, whatever a year, that's different. See what I'm saying? Does that make sense, everybody? The same thing with the subprime mortgage thing. Some people are getting subprime mortgages, but as long as they have the money to pay the mortgage, they don't go under. It's the people who don't have the income to pay the subprime mortgage that go under. Well, Darren, he did say he came there to speak on behalf of Chicago. So I will give him credit. He wasn't talking about the nation. He was saying Chicago, or that's kind of how people are interpreting it. He was representing the black people of Chicago. Somebody said, freed us. Fresh said that people are mean and horrible are usually at low wage jobs. Wow. All right. The Enterprise. If you refi your mortgage, does it reset your amortization rate and term? Reprise, I don't want to speak on that exactly right now. What I will do is I'm going to bring Kareem Baldwin back on, because I think we have a lot of mortgage questions general on this channel. And I'm going to bring him back on, let him do an interview, because he's a newlywed. He just got married. I was going to do it earlier, but because he's on the road, I'm on the road, I'm going to bring him back on and let him speak exactly, right? Because you can get those things changed when you refi. You got to be with a bank that's willing to refi, though. A lot of people, like I said, they stick with Bank of America, and then they ask Bank of America to refi. Bank of America says no, and they don't have the peer to go, I don't have to put up with Bank of America telling me no. I can go across the street to this smaller bank and get a refi. I can take my car over here and get a refi. I mean, there's ways to change these loans. Again, I want to bring him on to help. I got Chinese in my blood, Erica. Don't throw no mud. Hey, I ain't throwing no mud on your name. I'm just saying, if we start talking about reparations, and my dad was born in Japan, and you start saying, well, your daddy's not 100% of 100%, and your daddy's not 100% of 100%, and then this person, how do we win that argument? I just don't think we win that argument, because right now, especially in Virginia, not enough on Virginia, but if you go to the western side state of Virginia and parts of West Virginia, there are a lot of black people that are so light, they do pass for white. They do. Some of their children have. Now, those people, if they want to come back and get a check, y'all gonna be acting some kind of way. So, my thing is, I'm viewing off of past experience. Farm things went south in the 1980s. They were not giving farm loans because they were having racism problems. And now, when they did a lawsuit, they said, oh, here's $50,000 check. These people have lost a farm that they can never get back. And the best you're going to give them is a $50,000 check. And guess what majority of the black people did in a lot of those small towns who got a $50,000 check? Because their family had a farm. And they're a descendant of that person who had a farm. They went out and bought Cadillacs. It was a joke. It was the laughing stock of Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. Look at all these people buying Cadillacs with their refund check. They didn't go and join all the cousins and family members together to go back buy the land they lost or their grandparents lost. They were buying Cadillacs. It's a joke. So if you don't educate people, they're going to take this money and they're going to go right back out there and they're going to do something silly with it. That's all I'm saying. No, I don't want no smoke. I don't want no problems. Charles Ogilvy, you're right, says Emmanuel. Michael says, how can I make 8 figures? Hey, figure it out. Put it on pen and paper. Oh, you feel like he's driven to a breakdown. Interesting some of the comments y'all are having. I'm going to leave them alone. I'm not going to touch all of them. Fresh J says most people go after easy jobs, therefore they have poverty issues. And a lot of women go, I have to get a job around my kids' school hours. And when I've heard women say, oh, I can't find a job anywhere. You can't find a job from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. nowhere. That's a lie. I mean a lot of Uber drivers and Lyft drivers, and they even had this app where you're doing catering company, so bigger amounts, who would be using their minivans to do these catering orders and getting paid $50, $100 a day. I mean, there's a way to bring in money. I just think it's very tough. Exactly, Roscoe. Did you finally see the episode? On American Greed, I was recommending an episode for y'all to see. It was a tree farm, and the father was he was a mastermind. He was a genius. And he ran the farm off of computers and entry and data, but his son was slow, mentally slow. Some were saying maybe he's autistic. I don't even think he's autistic. I think he's mentally slow. And this Asian couple, Asian mom and daughter, just came and took him for all his money. The Asian daughter even got pregnant by somebody else and said the kid was his. Kid didn't look nothing like him. Y'all, I mean, so my thing is, even if you get money, you have to make sure your kids are, 1, mentally okay, and 2, there's plans for the money after you die. Doug says Kanye needs to take a course in public speaking. Okay. He appeared nervous and under pressure. He was trying to address too many topics in very little time. Yeah. I mean, if somebody tells you, hey, you got 30 minutes of the president's ear, okay, the 10 minutes of just getting him in there and getting him out of there ate up. So that's why it was like 19 minutes and 33 seconds. Like, it wasn't even a full. And he may have practiced his speech ahead of time. It just didn't sound thorough. Like, I went to a Toastmasters once and they hurt my feelings and I had to leave. I was like, I cannot take it. I need to go back and practice again anyway, but it is hard to public speak. It's one of the #1 fears in America. Now, what I saw at VidCon this year, I was at the conference, and there were people on stage speaking who had like 300 followers, 300 Instagram followers, 300 YouTube followers. I'm like, why are they on stage? You know, why are they? They're not qualified to speak. But it's because people have such a fear of speaking that that's the slight edge. I don't know if there's books I want y'all to read called The One Thing by Gary Keller, Compound Effect, and The Slight Edge. What you will notice in every one of those scenarios in those books is people who do that extra step, that extra thing, that extra workout. That's the difference. There's a kid right now who is way bigger than me, and me and him started at the same time on this workout journey. This kid is ripped, y'all. Now, I could complain and say men have muscle than women and all this stuff, but it's the slight edge that he worked out twice a day. He works at Dale. He works out in the morning, eats a really tight lunch, works out in the afternoons, and he's been doing it for longer than I have, consistently. Hence why I have the personal trainer. Hence why I'm starting to change the diet. But it's something about practice. And what you practice, you give focus and power to. That's why when I'm on the O'Shea channel, I'm telling you, and these men, you're hearing 40-year-old men on Brother Pill and all this stuff talking about they out here chasing women, but they poor, they ain't got no money. They've spent their whole 20s and 30s and 40s focusing on how to chase women instead of going, okay, I'm going to need financial security at some point. Period. That's what I'm seeing. So that's not a win. He had rehearsed his message. It would have been more coherent, yes. That 19 minute was used as a photo op to make a fool of him purposely. He needs better help. Possibly, Mentor Shelley. Make sure y'all hit the like button. It's 150 of y'all on here. It's only 68 likes. I'm driving past basically a dead shopping plaza over here. This outlet has like no stores in it. Like 10 stores left. It's sad. Let me see. I hear a lot of Kanye West is crazy. Kanye West, da-da-da-da-da. Hold on. Let me get up. Just because the crowd doesn't understand his points doesn't make him crazy. They do the same to Candace Owens at HBCUs. Well, here's the thing. Now, Kanye West has mental health issues. That is for sure. He's even said he does. He has bipolar and he is on medication. He said he's on medication. That's why I'm giving y'all the opportunity to school me on the actual points. Because I did make a video and I got a lot of emails where you guys are saying I'm bashing and not actually taking a part of his argument. So I'm reviewing his argument and it goes all with the string. We're talking about subprime mortgage. We're talking about possible what recession are you talking about? All these things are important because if we don't clarify the actual topic, we'll do like that person who read that article, which was sloppy. That article basically said that subprime mortgages are back. Well, that's bunk. Everybody knows those same mortgage companies she was naming, they've been doing this the past 10 years. It didn't change. NACA hasn't changed. Truly, the only thing that changed about NACA was the fact that it blew up in African-American subprime groups on Facebook. Let's be really honest. And Hispanic groups, actually, too. So prime example, the whole Navy Federal thing. Navy Federal was for military people. And they've been giving out crazy high amounts of loans, high amounts of credit cards and business lines of credit. So it used to be a hack to get in was Navy League. And Navy League in San Francisco, when you pay your Navy League membership, you got a bank account. It's like $25, if that, right? And the Navy League supports Navy folks. Of course, the Navy is not that big, so it was never meant to be this big thing. They got a Navy League in Virginia. Wherever you have Navy bases, you have Navy League. Okay, let me just make that simple. So you had this thing about the Navy League hack to get Navy Federal go around in these Facebook groups. And it became this huge thing. And Navy League even reported that 900,000 people applied for Navy League. Like they sent money now. Navy League took that money. Think about it, $25 a pop from people. And some of them said they were 65 at their particular place. So we got to make those numbers work. But 25 a pop, 900,000 people. Navy League had to, where it just got $25 million almost. It had to explain, oh, whoa. And people were arguing that, no, I wanted mine to be in Navy League San Francisco. Well, ma'am, you live in Virginia. You live in Florida. Why aren't you putting it with that base? It's because they wanted to use the hack to get in the Navy Federal. So applications Oh no. Everybody, if you can hear me, it's circling. It's circling over here on my side. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me. If you can't, let me know. I've got a 30-second delay. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the comments so I know if, because it's probably gonna go away. The 13th. Yeah, that's what it's. Thank you. The name of that Netflix is the 13th. Please put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me. I don't know if I'm talking to myself or not. It's circling over on my end. What's up, T. Kelly? After viewing the movie in Dallas live on your way home to discuss your opinion. Oh, Dallas, I'm going to be here for the rest of the weekend. This is the weekend I'm going to be meeting with Charles, sorry, I was going to say Charles Ogilvie because I saw his next comment. I'm going to be doing speaking on Saturday, and my video guy is going to be here. Going to be meeting with Tim Jackson, Scotty Smith, Eric Patrick, you know, the guy who designed the shirt Stocks, Bonds, and Mutual Funds. Is actually not my shirt. A lot of people think that's my shirt. It's not. I'm just an affiliate for them. I love the shirts. I've been wearing them for like 4 years. And he cracks me up. He's like, so many people come to me from your channel, and I want to thank y'all. Thank you for the affiliate checks. And so I'll be doing a lot of networking and arm rubbing and shouldering and whatever here. A lot of good stuff while I'm here. So, but I will try to talk about that movie. Because the reason I'm even going to the movie is the fact that Black movie directors are getting in all kind of theaters. It's not a matter of they're not letting you in. You just got to have the money to get in the theater. And that's mostly, I'm not going to talk about it now. To the second video, we'll do that later. Kanye West. I also find that sometimes we say a solution can't work or it's crazy just because it's hard. At least Kanye proposed a solution. Now, here's my thing, Charles Ogilvie. And this is something I believe, and y'all can write me down on this, and you can come back in a year or 2 or 4 and call me out on it. Here's what I think happens with this recession possibly coming up. You're going to see more marriage and more cohabitation. Right now, I'm going to bring up the article if I can find it again, where it's showing the #1 people getting married are older Black people or people in that senior year of college. Now, why is that? Because if all your white friends are getting married that senior year of college, and all of a sudden you're a Black person at you know, predominantly white schools, you might be getting married too in your senior year of college. I'm seeing that more. There's a company called Mutualetta Bride. I think people have seen that single parentness does not work. Living on your own, scraping by does not work. People who are hip to the math know that does not work. And the economy is forcing their hand to make a better decision. That's my thoughts. Now, why am I doing this? I'm seeing a lot of, the math is showing a lot of retirement age men, 50, 60, 70 years old, are marrying Black women 40 and 50 years old. It's like 20-year age gaps in there. So those people are getting married. Now, you can say on one end it's for security or companionship, later in life marriages, that's fine. On the other end, you can say people starting their life out together in college and they saw what their parents didn't work. You know, you can go right now on Instagram and see all these like young Black people doing these need proposals and all this stuff. And you may think, well, they're just getting engaged, Erica. Well, these numbers are changing for marriage, and I think you're going to see bigger changes. And y'all can quote me on this and come back and rub it in my face in a couple years. I'm okay with it. I'm okay if you do that. So, because I think I'm right. Sorry, it's like a winding noise in the car. All right. Obama still hasn't done anything to fix the economy. He has all the free time in the world. You know, my thing about Obama is, here's my thing. At one point in time, I wanted to be in politics. Charles Ogilvie. And I was in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and I had a business, and I'm talking to all the people on the board. And I remember talking to some white people who were Republicans in nature. But because of the district they were trying to run into, they had to be a Democrat because they weren't going to get votes from these white Dixiecrats. So, and at the time I thought, well, that's crazy. And it was almost like a very political game. And so it's almost like, what can you do for me kind of thing. And the same thing, people were saying, if you look at Houston, you're seeing all these Asian representatives being elected. And you're like, I know there ain't that many Asian people to even vote. Wrong. Minorities. A lot of illegal aliens who are Asian and owning businesses, you know, doing all kind of stuff down there. So when you think about it, who's running? It's people who are getting money to run. It's people who are getting, what can you do for me? Like, okay, I'm going to run for this district because I want to fight for this district to have what? And when you talk about local elections, small local elections are determined by like 500 to 2,000 people sometimes. I mean, it's crazy. Like sometimes it's less than 10% of the population. Right now, Fayetteville, North Carolina has, in the metro area, has 300,000 people. Every year they'll have an election with maybe 30,000 votes total. And one person gets in because they got 500 more people came out. Or one time it was like 200 people came out. You know, so local elections matter. They dictate a lot of things. I think Obama's no longer in Chicago, and Chicago can't do anything for him. So, you know, it's like, you know, and honestly, if you look at the past 10 years of Chicago, they lost 3,000 millionaires. And then they also lost 300,000 upper economic black families. Now, see, they want you to believe everybody in Chicago is poor. No. The upper well-to-do black families, 300,000 of them rolled out of Chicago. Now, they all didn't leave and come south. Some are actually in the edges and in the neighboring states. You know what I mean? So, thank you so much, El Monte. Yes. I know someone with a felony conviction with the passport. Good, El Monte. I don't know if this... Okay, so this man, I'm not going to lie to y'all. He did attempted murder. So I'm not even going to pretend like, you know, his felony is different from other people. No, like, he did attempted murder. But he came out and started owning a moving truck company. And then he bought some other rentals. And he did some other stuff. So I don't know if his has a particular... You know what I mean? Like, you know, so... Ankle monitors. Yeah, ankle monitors is... They charge a lot with the prison problem complex. Yes, we can go all deep about prison. Now, what I said on O'Shea Show, I still meant. Have your license plate up to date. Have your tags up to date. Don't have that dark tinted windows. I mean, these are things people are going to say, Erica, you're cooning. I'm not cooning. I mean, cops are actually trained at school. If there's any cops in the section, you guys can tell me, to look for little things, because little things lead to big things. And every year they keep getting confirmed on it. Like, they literally just found a serial killer in Dallas because broken tail light, and he was a white man, and they get him, and there's a trunk in the body. There's a body in the trunk. Guy killed like 4 people up here in Dallas. Same thing in Austin. They stopped some black guy, and he literally had blood on his clothes. Like, broken tail light. These are little things that they're trained to look for. So in the comment section on O'Shea channel, they're like, I see white and Hispanic guys with illegal tint all the time. Listen to me. Is it illegal? Don't fight me on this. Is it illegal? If it's illegal, why are you doing it, saying, look at other people doing it? There's a theory. I don't know the name of the theory right now off the top of my head. But imagine, I'm going to use food for example. There's a Domino's on the right hand of the street, and there's a Papa John's over here. But every time I drive on this street, I look at Domino's. I never see Papa John's. I always look at Domino's. So what's going to happen? I'm going to assume Domino's is selling pizza. And right, Domino's is the only pizza in the world. Domino's is the whatever. But if I take a look at Papa John's all of a sudden, I'm like, whoa, it's got pizzas too? I got to find the name of this theory so I don't be sounding crazy. But anyway, the point of this is, if you're training police officers to look for young black males or young black whatever over and over again, they sometimes will overlook other people. But you can't be doing something illegal and act like, well, why didn't they give me a break? They looking for you. Now, in Austin, Texas, this police officer was telling me they were always looking for young Hispanic and young black males because it's Austin, Texas. But guess who was breaking in all the cars in this one area? Young white males. Just when I was leaving my car a couple videos ago, you guys saw me talking about it. There was a young white male with his t-shirt off, and it's hot outside. It made sense. But then I saw him with his t-shirt, which is looped on his pants, use it to pull the door handles on the cars. He was walking down pulling door handles on cars. Now, I was looking because I had my weapon on me, and I was like, look at this boy looking. And now he had nothing but a shirt and a t-shirt. What he was doing was, it's not larceny, what is it called? When you're not breaking the windows, it's like it's open. It's still breaking and entering, but it's a different, something about it is a different context. I'll have to ask my uncle. But essentially, he was looking for opportunities to steal out of cars. So at the end of the day, if you're always focusing over here, and the police are always focusing over here, are there white people committing crime? Yes. Is white women going to jail up 50% across the nation? Yes. It's due to meth, opiates, prostitution, drug trafficking. Those things are up. Black women are down. Murder across the country has been down for 20 years. But what has gone up? Home break-ins and assaults. Now, assaults could be bar fights. Assaults could be a lot of different things. We won't go too deep into that. But my whole point is, with those theories, you see they're looking for certain activity. Don't feed into the certain activity. I mean, is that so hard? I mean, am I being a jerk for saying that? I mean, I guess I'm a jerk. So, Ben the bartender, poor and no support system will keep you poor. Facts, facts, facts. Thank you guys for the super chats. I see the numbers going up. I'm getting down to them. There's 146 of y'all in here. It's 90 likes. Thank you for participating. Makes sense. Resets when you refi. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'm a closer for a lender. Thank you, Karen Bacon. I've been calling Kareem Baldwin and emailing, but he's never returned any of my calls. Mrs. Love Jones, I'm going to have to check into that, make sure we have the right number for him, because he just got married. So I know he was on the islands getting married, and he posted some newlywed pictures, but he should be back by now. And he has an assistant. Did you leave a message for? He has like a full staff in his office. So there should be 2-3 girls you talk to before, even if he's not there. There's like 2 or 3 people on staff that you actually set up your pre-approval with, and then you get on him the phone with him. Nobody's 100% in this country. Possible. Mungaloos, Lumbies. Hey, Monty, easy on the Lumbies. Hey, easy. Allied Mortgage Group. Hello to the chat. Okay, thank you for promoting. They bought a car with 50K. Now, they didn't, Cosmic Wisdom, they didn't spend the whole 50K, but basically many of the towns in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia were kind of making a mockery of it, saying they're selling Cadillacs left and right. Orders for Cadillacs are going through the roof, which they were. They were taking the money. The areas where the reparations, where the checks were, is where they went up. They did. Charles Ogleby, I'm not lying. This is documented. Go look up any of the articles about, because they paid Native Americans too. So Lumbee Indians were doing some of this stuff too. They paid everybody who was adversely affected and filed for the thing. Because trust me, you know, our family went and filed for some duckaroos. Hey, we were adversely affected and they were not giving us our loans. So trust me, if you can prove it, if you can show where your family had some property and then y'all lost it, you can prove it, you can get your 50K. But again, it's not like these people said, let's join together and buy another farm. Let's join together and buy this already operating blueberry farm across town, and now we'll own a blueberry farm instead. They weren't doing that. So, y'all give me a second. Let me get some water. Alrighty, next part. Charles Ogleby. That's exactly what happens when refund tax hit. They go on vacation, buy purses for the gram. Listen, I'm not lying. I worked at H&R Block 3 years. There was one woman who's the pillar. If I can go back in Fayetteville and find her, interview her, I will. She had lost her job. She was a real estate agent, and she got this huge tax refund. She went and bought a house. Was cleaned up, and it was a not good part of Fayetteville. Then the next year, she came back. She was getting another big refund because of home depreciation and some other stuff. She took that and bought a house further to the other side of the town she wanted to be in. Third year, which is the last time I ever saw her at HR Block, they told me she got a special CPA and everything. She was taking, like, it was like the refund check started at $8 grand. The next year was 6 because she had kids. And then last year was like, finally got in the house in Jack Britt School District and had 2 other rentals renting out. And she was a real estate agent. And so for me, it's possible to change your whole life with a refund check. But you got to have this right. Right? So even if I gave you $50,000 and you live in Cheap Park, Mississippi, common sense say buy 2 acres of land, you know, build your house on it, you know, get a mortgage on the house, whatever you got to do, build your house, and then take that money and do something with it. Or take that 50K and buy a couple semi trucks, right? You're already in Mississippi, Alabama, where some of that stuff is popular anyway. Now you got 2-3 trucks right now making truck adjusted money, and you're living your life. I mean, there's things they could do with that, right? But I used to see people getting $8,000 all the time. They had multiple kids. And some people quit their jobs. McDonald's had a post that went viral. Don't quit your job because you got your refund check. If you need a week off, let us know. That's a damn shame McDonald's got to put an article out. I put a post in the back of the break room for people not to quit their jobs because they got a refund check. This thing went viral, and the manager came on TV and said, yeah, you know, every year we have people quit their jobs. And then they come back in a few months asking for their job back. This is what happens when you get in the cycles of low income living. You know, I would see people come back to H&R Block and they had got a new car, and the car, it got repoed. So they bought a car cash or something. And I'm like, well, didn't common sense say just buy a car cash anyway? With this $8,000 refund check, you couldn't find no Honda for $5K nowhere. King Nip, I'm telling you the truth about this Cadillac. I'm raising my hand up. This is how serious it is. PBS did a special on it. PBS did a special on it. This is how serious I am about these people buying Cadillacs with they African American discrimination lawsuit checks. That's why there was Republican and GOP people, Ben Shapiro and all those people, making fun of them getting these checks for people who were doing what? Wasting this money, right? They were like, well, the money should have went to actual farmers who are still farming. You took their land. They weren't farmers no more. There's actual, if I find this thing, I'll pull it up and I'll put it on here. But I'm telling y'all, this is something that's been heavy on the heart, because they gave some Lumbies some checks too down there, and they went and did the same thing. Bought some trailers and some Mustangs. I think the thing is, people can't take you seriously when you get money to do something different. I'm telling you, if they gave reparations next year and they give each family $1 million, I'm not even joking, that money will be spent within 2 years. It will be gone within 2 years, back in the same hands it was before, because it's up here. It's up here. And people think oh, Eric, you know what I'm talking about. Even if you have these basketball players, these football kids, every year these financial advisors try to convince them hard. Won't you guys just put it in these really boring assets over here, and let's say, I want to open a nightclub, I want to open a restaurant, they want to open up barbershops and stuff. I mean, like, you got to read some of these reports that these are financial advisors that are good, up and coming financial advisors, are trying to advise these football players, because they're forced to have a couple days of training, or they have that. So does anybody know what I'm talking about? Anybody seen the show Ballers? Put a 3 in the comments if you've seen the show Ballers. It's got Rock Johnson in it, Dwayne Johnson in it, and some other white guys. I don't even know their names. But put a 3 in the comments if you've seen that show. I mean, they basically tiptoe on the line and say that's what's happening to their money. But they do. Like, and if you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. It's a little bit too much. But put a 3 in the comments if you've seen it, because I know I'm not the person seeing this show. And this show isn't what I'm basing my numbers off of. You can actually, the sports on HBO, that sports review, the older with Bryant Gumbel, they do a thing on it every year, talking about investors and money, what happens to the money with these people. Thank you, Karen Baker. Okay, I always said she does catering orders for DoorDash. Okay. They left that fool 1 acre land. They really did. It was crazy, because here's my thing, Roscoe. They were Asians, but they were scammers, and so we were like, oh, they're gypsies. They weren't gypsies. They were Asian. Lee was their last name, and they were Asian, clearly Asian. They were just stupid scammers, because once her daughter, who at the time was underage, had married him, she had every legal right to keep that money. They just sell off one house a year. One house a year. That's it. I mean, well, if they could sell off 100 trees a year is what I mean. If each tree gives you $1,000, keep the farm, sell off a couple trees a year. So that's why on that American Greed show, the scammers are so stupid. It's like, if they even thought for 2 seconds with their brain, they wouldn't be still scamming people. But that's the problem. And this road, if you guys live in Dallas, this I-35 where they're building this road is completely flooded. So when that road gets open and it's low level water, they're gonna have to shut that bad boy down. I'm telling you, this stuff they're building is stupid. The best thing your parents did, Cosmo, is, yep, you gotta teach your kids. You gotta teach your kids about banks and checking. And a lot of people say their parents are like, well, we don't have money for that. We don't have money for that. Well, subconsciously, all you're teaching them is we don't have money. You're not showing them how, right? My nephew made $600 this summer cutting grass. And we keep trying to show him, okay, you're going to put this money in the bank. You're going to do this with your money. He's like, I just want to buy a trailer, like a trailer to drive his riding lawnmower on, which is funny. But kids, you got to be constantly trying to update them on money and how money works, because I think you're doing them a disservice sending them out in this world with no knowledge. Slight edge is great, true. Well, see, here's the thing. What I tell people, I'm sorry I can't see your name, I'm driving, Darren, about the whole, okay, I tell people Dave Ramsey before you Robert Kiyosaki. Now, why do I say that? I don't think you can save yourself to wealth. I think you can invest your way to wealth, but I don't think you can save. But I think if you pay off debt, that goes into that whole FIRE movement, that Mr. Money Mustache living, all that stuff, you're training yourself to pay off some debt. I think when you see, if you go look at Dave Ramsey's debt-free screens and the averages of their documentation on their records, most people get done in 12 months to 15 months because it's such a restrictive lifestyle. They're like, oh, I just want to be over. And it also teaches them next time somewhat that pain is associated with high levels of debt, right? Like, oh, I had to scrimp on food and cut coupons and do all this stuff last time I had debt. So it's a training technique. CJ say we're trained to recite Bible verses everywhere. I mean, I'm telling you, I don't recommend people go to any churches that don't have staff or don't have some kind of training. We are actually on the Dave Ramsey thing at our church. And I go to a wealthy church and they still, every year is still full of people learning how to control their debt. Trey Wilson, what are those 3 books again? What did I name y'all? Slight Edge, Compound Effect, and The One Thing by Gary Keller. I mean, there's, again, we can talk countless books on this channel, but Sub-Zero 3639, let's do a hangout. Who are you, Sub-Zero? I'm not gonna lie, have I heard you before? Have I seen your channel before? Were you on O'Shea's channel or something? So anyway. Charm City buyers, pray for Kanye. Hashtag pray for Kanye. Right? 40 still chasing trash women. Must be trash. You get. Oh, that's something I talked about earlier. Yeah, I did talk about that earlier. Property Solutions ATL. Those dead plazas need to be turned into multifamily. Well, I think what ends up happening is, let's be really honest. I'm in Austin, Texas, and a lot of Hispanic people take over some of them smaller plazas, and they be having Spanish over the whole plaza. I think that's effective and it works. Instead of these pop-up little flea markets they be making. Let's get them where they can actually, you know, be. So, Alvin, the Fed is planning to raise rates again to part of next year. So yes, technically whenever the Fed raises rates, it's 18 to 24 months till a recession. I don't technically think we have 18 to 24 months. I'm just going to be honest. But that's nothing to be scared of. It just means you need to be prepared. How do you be prepared? Have your assets unlocked, have a high-paying job, have some savings, you know, have some other investments that can handle you. I mean, really, the killer, what takes people out, like, I don't know, I keep using her as an example. There's a woman who watched this channel. She might not be watching anymore. She might be busy. She worked a job she did not like for 18 years. She finally bought a condo in Houston, in this up-and-coming area, for $55,000. Her mortgage was $321, y'all. You know what she did 2 months later? Quit that job she'd been hating all these years. You know, the thing of it is people are renting like $1,500, $2,000 a month apartments. They got a car payment for $500, the insurance. So out the gate, they got $4,000 coming out there. So they have to work. They're living so much above their means. And, you know, don't be afraid of any recessions. Just be prepared. Am I triggering Skynet again, y'all? Let me know. I think y'all can hear me. Yeah, these are old comments. Thank you, Charles Ogilvy, for the $10 super chat. You are a sponsor of the show. So it's Sub-Zero. Kanye said what he said, or should I say Ye said what he said. Hey, listen, he did. He said what he said. Thank you guys for getting the likes up. It's 150 of y'all coming in and out of here all the time. It's 105 likes. I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming and watching the channel for the information and sharing with each other in the comment section. The reason I asked you guys to put your cities and states is some of y'all can connect with each other in the cities and states y'all are in. And when I visit or I do a meetup, y'all can work together. Like, does everybody know November 3rd I'm going to be in Baltimore, Maryland? November 2nd through the 4th? Who knows I'm going to be in Baltimore, Maryland? Put a 5 in the comments if you know I'm going to be in Baltimore, Maryland, November 2nd through the 4th. Because I don't think you guys know. You guys know I'm going to be in Detroit, but I don't think you guys know that I'm going to be in Baltimore. I don't think you guys remember or know. But a lot of you are in the New York area. A lot of you in the Philly area. A lot of you are in the Maryland area. You could come to that. Okay, thank you, Donnie Breeze. I appreciate that. Thank you, Rockwell, for the $10 super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel. Rockwell, Charles Ogilvy, and Sub-Zero. I know there's another person, but I am trying to carefully see it. Exactly, Trey Wilson. If you have one more business, you're going to need employees. Kanye is a genius. A mad genius. Hey, listen. My friend Sandy said that he's a genius and he's making money either way. It's very true. Moses Jenkins, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. I appreciate it. His question is, sidebar question, Uber IPO next year. Any thoughts? You know, I'm not feeling it. I'm going to tell you why I'm not feeling it. Uber, the definition of Uber, you understand, right? Like, anywhere you go, you're like, if you go to a city and there's no Uber, you're going to ask, hey, what's your city's Uber? Like when Uber left Austin, Texas for a little bit, we were like, who else can we lose? And Lyft went away too, like in a protest with them. They're back now. I need a water break, I apologize. But Uber created a model, and yes, they're the biggest, but will they stay the business? No. I mean, when they were gone, like 10 other companies rose up in their place in Austin. Were they the best? Were their apps glitchy? Yes. Did sometimes you not get picked up? Yes. But they never, you know, nature abhors a vacuum, right? Like if there's something missing in the economy, somebody else will come up in that space. There's people right now probably trying to think how they can take Uber down. Now, Uber has changed CEO. The previous CEO was Gary Vee's friend, and Gary Vee didn't invest in Uber that first go round, which was silly of him because he would have been able to buy the jets off of it. That's how much money Uber has. But I have to do some more research on the Uber IPO. I'm going to put more videos in the marijuana investment course next week as we get ready to prepare for marijuana investment conference in November. And there's other people who teach stock classes that are way better than mine. I don't have any stock classes. I don't teach you how to invest in stock. I teach you segments and particular things that I am specializing in. The best thing I can do is teach you what I'm doing and only advise you on what stuff that I'm doing or have done, or I can bring somebody on to talk about it. So, yes. So Congressman Williams said, most of the women I know from college got married early, had low value degrees. None of them were computer science engineers, lawyers. Those people got married 10 to 15 years afterwards. Very true. That's why when I was showing people the numbers, the averages for black women are like first time marriages are 32 to 35. Same thing for professionals. Professionals are 28 to 31. Now, are you going to meet a ton of people going to get married in college? For sure. It's just natural. That's the highest number of black and white available men you're going to have. If you're a woman, if you're a man, that's the highest number of females you're going to have in a concentration that are going to be very available. I'm trying to be careful how I say this, to speak to you. Not necessarily, I mean, like, just if you're walking across college, you're there, you have something in common, you ask them about their classes, they're not going to be like, get away from me, crazy. They're going to be like, hey, what's up? But not so much when you go out in the real world. Charles Ogilvy said he is the president. Okay, note taken. Hey, Cam posted for my Dallas trip and my Charm City Buyers Teachable link for November. Thank you much, Cam. Hey, Cap, don't highlight my name. It makes my eyes hurt. Sorry. UK needs to give its citizens a tax refund. There's a guy named Dennis Felix. He wrote the book, How to Get Rich. And he calls 2 to 3 million comfortably poor. If anything happens to you, you can take care of it, but you're pretty much poor. He's quite hilarious. He died early, but he has in his book, all on the cover and on the back pages are the checks he's written to the UK in pounds. Huge money. Huge money. Oh my God, Roscoe said 2 years or 2 weeks. I mean, I would hope most people would pay cash for their house, get a few cars, and sit down for a minute, but I have a feeling they wouldn't. 30/30 broke cover it. There you go. Thank you, ESPN. I know I be saying stuff and I'm like, do they know what I'm talking about? Y'all know what I'm talking about. I-35 in Dallas sucks. It really does. You have thousands of women flocking to the Dominican Republic and Colombia each year, using their tax refunds for butt lifts and tummy tucks. Listen, when Usher Raymond's wife had like a, y'all remember that? Please put a 6 in the comments if you remember. Just put Usher. Type in Usher. If you remember, Usher Raymond's wife, ex-wife, went to Brazil and then had like allergic reaction to her surgery. He had to fly down there. That was embarrassing. To me, that was embarrassing. Like that. Does anybody remember what I'm talking about? Usher Raymond. You put Usher in the comments or 6. Usher Raymond's wife flew down to Brazil for a tummy tuck and something else, and she ended up having not a stroke but like an allergic reaction. And I was like, really? Is it that serious? We going to Brazil for the cheap medical procedure? I mean, you literally in Austin, Texas can get a tummy tuck for three grand. If you gotta be cheaper than 3 grand, by the time you pay the money to go down to the Dominican Republic, the hotel room, the cost, the everything, I mean, like, you don't spend the 3 grand anyway. Be in your backyard doing it. Then you got to recover for 6 weeks. You might as well get a personal trainer and work out with them and eat right for 6 weeks. I don't understand that. That's equipment, Erica. He needs a trailer. Kay Archer, my nephew tells me that all the time. He needs this equipment. He needs the trailer. Thank you, Virtuous One, for the $4.99 super chat. Just for having a beautiful brain. Why, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Cam posted them, the recommended books you guys keep asking. Slight Edge, Compound Effect, The One Thing. I think those are good books. The updated version of the 4-Hour Workweek is a good book too. Think about time, early retirements, or just mini retirements, mini breaks. No need to finish the Compound Effect. Well, you know, I think the Slight Edge is a better book than the Compound Effect per se. But for some people, I think they just don't get it, right? Like, you're doing something over and over and over for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Your results are going to be so much different. I'm going through DeSoto right now. Wave at DeSoto. Some of the highest black homeowners, black millionaires in Texas, were waving through DeSoto, by DeSoto. The Compound Effect, essentially, if you ever see people, and I love that in the book they use, you know, I would see married couples walking around the neighborhoods at night where I had my house last year. And those couples didn't look super fit, but they weren't like gut fat. I don't know what the word is. They looked like they were they looked well taken care of. Okay, you know, they were getting their walk on every day, walking their dogs together, walking and talking. You're gonna have a different relationship with your kids and your spouse if you're walking and talking every afternoon, even if it's for 45 minutes. You ever see little kids be all bloated looking? In Texas, we got a lot of little bloated Hispanic children looking real big, and the schools were saying it's because they don't have PE anymore, and a lot of kids don't have to walk anymore, yada, 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 various reasons. But at the end of the day, that compound effect, that one part is just true. Something you focus on every day for 2-3 years, you're going to get. Prime example, I'm not picking on him, but I am. There was a guy came on O'Shea show, and he said every day for 2-3 hours a night, for like a year, he studied Portuguese so he could have the Portuguese to go spend this 1 week a year in Brazil to catch the Brazilian ladies. If he would have spent 1 to 3 hours every night, either working a part-time job or growing his skills or being in a higher paid job, he could get any lady he wanted because he's a high skilled man. Do you understand the power of compound effect? When you're spending hours focusing on the minors, which is catching ladies, you can catch ladies every day of the week. If you have some money, if you have some skill, you know what I mean? That's the problem. It's people in our community and other communities are majoring in things like catching the ladies, finding the women's, and their pocket, they look up, they're 40 years old, their back hurt, they're tired of working raggedy jobs, they don't want to do that anymore. Well, you know, what did you focus in? Show me what you focus in and I'll show you your future. If you ask somebody what's their 5-year plan and they don't have one, they already there. There's a book called The 10-Year Turnaround, and it didn't get a lot of sales. People were like, oh, I don't want that book. But that's the effect. If you look back 10 years ago, the choices you made 10 years ago are why you are here today. If you ask some young lady or some man what happened 10 years ago, why he didn't marry such and such and so, you know, they'll tell you, you know, that was a mistake, or I should have done that. Or they'll tell you, I should have bought that house, or I should have bought this thing. 10 years ago, the choices you make affect who you are today. Compound effect is a real thing. You don't need to finish it, but you just need to understand the concept. Something you do every day, you get focused to every day, that's where you're going. Where your attention is where your brain goes. $2 from Captain. Thank you so much for the super chat. Gainesville, Florida, Houston. Compound effect. Thank you, getting the likes up. Y'all, I'm sorry this video is so shaky, but you know, these little amounts be tripping. Oh yeah, Waco, Texas in the building. What's up? How much are tickets for the Be More? Click the link. Click the link, Fly Guy. I actually have a coupon code too I've been giving people, but I think they already hit the early bird special. Click the link. Will I be visiting Gerald? No, Captain. You can visit Austin. Gerald is out there. Ain't nothing going on out there. Tamika Foster is her name. Thank you so much, Erica Nicole. I couldn't think of her name. Do you invest in hedge funds, Erica? We'll talk about that in a different video. If you're going to go get any invasive surgery, you need to go to a professional. You really do. Domino's has a self-driving car. I think they put those in certain areas. Let's see. What else we have in here? Same thing happened to Kanye West's mom. Yeah, but she was in the United States. But she was also advised not to have the surgery because of her heart condition and her weight. So people don't listen. Roscoe's Hispanic kids will be 13 in strollers. Hey, man. Is the wholesaling technique still good technique in the next coming recession? Who is that? Big brother in life? Go check out my friend Nina, House Hunters 216. She has her course out right now, Blockbusters. At the end of the day, people will wholesale, flip houses, everything through any recession. They just won't be doing it as much, right? I had a friend who was a flipper in 2008. He still flipped houses, just very slowly. And very particular community. It was a high-end community. He was very slowly flipping it. That a couple came by and wrote an offer on one of the properties, and they got to pick the color of the cabinets and the granite countertops and all stuff. Like their paperwork had to be in though. He wasn't playing with them. All their paperwork had to be in, and then he finished out the house for them. So just slower. They're still gonna do stuff. Right now, 1 in 4 kids in Texas under the age of 9, and actually across the United States, are Hispanic. So, I mean, it is the wave of the future. This says, do you have any trainings on how to become an affiliate marketer? How to become, I don't. I've talked about affiliate marketing in several videos though. So it's not like, it's not in there for you to see. Plenty are in there. All right, you guys, I'm gonna have to get out of here because the traffic's getting a little thicker. I'm actually in the Dallas. So for safety, let's all be safe. It's gonna be, I'm gonna have to get out of here. So somebody asked me about minimum wage. Essentially, listen, minimum wage is dangerous. So look, it's very dangerous for businesses and poor people who want to get into work. But look, you guys, I gotta run out of here. Thank you for coming. Again, here's the travel schedule as I give it to you because I'm driving. I can't see any more comments. Thank you for everybody who super chatted. Thank you for everybody participated. The travel so far this week, we're in Dallas, Texas, and Cam's put the links for the Andre Hatchett event. You can buy day passes. Next weekend we'll be in Detroit, the 25th through the 28th. On that Friday, we will have a happy hour meetup late night at TAP in the MGM Graham. You know, come on out, get you some drinks, get you meet some good people. Have a lot of the crew there, Hood Estates, Nina, Kendra, the Key Resource. Lots of good people are going to be there. Charm City Buyers, Asia, the Meeks, Team Meeks from Houston, and several other people are going to be there. Andre Hatchett was going to be there. The next weekend, November 2nd through the 4th, I'll be in Baltimore, Maryland. November 3rd, there's a meetup in Baltimore. Super cool location, secret location. Hit the links, and when you buy, you can find out its location. The 8th through the 11th, I should be at Afrotech in San Francisco, California. If any of you in Oakland, please message me if you're in Oakland or near there. November 14th through the 17th, I will be in Las Vegas, Nevada for the Marijuana Investment Conference. And also we'll be seeing Jacob's Life in Vegas and a couple other YouTubers. So everybody, you know what's good. You know what I mean? We're going to have a lot of travel and a lot of conversation and a lot of higher quality videos coming out. So thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. Thank you for being here through Skynet Tripping. I'm going to get us some Classy Climb shirts, and I'm going to have the colors. I'm going to put them out. But so far, the drawing someone marked up for me is a sandstone color hoodie and a burgundy hoodie. Burgundy, the color looks good on me, but it doesn't look good on everybody. So we're probably going to also do a black shirt. So y'all let me know if you're interested in those as well. So look, everybody, this is Erica from the Classy Climb blog. If you haven't got the Smart for a Millionaire book, make sure you got it. For those of you, there's been 3 emails about the bundle. If you go ahead and pay, I'll enroll you, but we're not going to promote the bundle link here. But if you got the special email from the special list, go ahead and hit the link and you pay, and I'll enroll you in the bundles that are now closed out to everybody else. For that, everybody, thank you, Cam. Thank you, Ben the Bartender. Thank you, all the moderators who participated today. You guys are the best. Thank you, Doug, for visiting the channel. He's a moderator usually on the Black Manosphere. So, anyways, you guys, this is Erica, Classy Climb blog. Smash that like button before you leave.